Organelles of plants and animal cells. Chloroplast. Chloroplast is only present in a plant cell. It's a disc-like organelle. It's found in only plant cells. It contains green pigment called as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is responsible for photosynthesis using the sunlight. Cytoplasm. It's a jelly-like material that fills the cells and carries all the other organelles. It's and the constant making and breaking of the new materials takes place in cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is present in both the plant and the animal cells. In the animal cells, it fills the whole cell, while in the plant cell, it's pushed to the corner because of the large vacuole present. Cell membrane. Cell membrane is also present in both a plant and animal cell. It's a thin layer that only allows certain materials to pass through. If you look at the plant cell, it's present on the inside of the cell wall. Nucleus. Nucleus is a sort of a main control station for all the cells. It's present in both animal and plant cell. It's basically responsible for all the main functions of the cells, including the cell division and reproduction. Nucleus contains thread-like structures which are called as chromosomes, and these chromosomes carry the genetic information. Nucleus is also responsible for controlling the repairs of the cell. Vacuole. Vacuole contains cell sap that contains sugar and minerals dissolved in water. In plant cell, it keeps a cell firm by taking in water and forms the biggest part of the cell. You can see in the picture that the biggest white portion is the vacuole. While in an animal cell, there are many small vacuoles, and they also contain water and minerals, and they form and disappear and then form again. They are not permanent like in the plant cell. Now, different types of cells in multicellular organisms, the both in the plants and the animal cells. Uh, Multicellular organisms are made up of different types of specialized cells which carry out different functions. Like for example, humans, if you look at the humans, the skin of the human is made up of different type of cells. Lungs are made up of different types of cells. Neurons are made up of different types of cells. Bloods are made up of different types of cells. So in multicellular organisms, they all of this the cells present inside the body are still called as cells, but their shapes, their functions are meant for different kind of tasks. So we call this kind of a process a division of labor. Like for example, just like you look at a building and you look at the labor working in the building. Each of the person working in the construction site is meant for a specific kind of work. Some of them are electricians, some of them are cement people, some of them are responsible for gas tubing. So similarly, even in the humans and the animals and plants, there are specific cells for carrying out special kind of functions. Let's see what kind of cells we have in multicellular organisms. So the main, let's start with the plants first. Plants have specifically three main types of cells: palisade cells, guard cells, root hair cells. Palisade cells are found on the inner layer of the epidermis. If you look at the cross section of the plant cell, plant leaf that you can see here, you can see the outermost layer of the leaf is epidermis and cuticle, and under the epidermis, these are palisade cells, which you can see are cylindrical shaped, and they are mainly they're standing vertically because it makes it easier for the leaf to carry out photosynthesis. So the chloroplast is found in the palisade cells, and the reason the chloroplast is lying like disc in the palisade cells is because it becomes much easier for the sunlight to be absorbed during photosynthesis, and this is why you can see the palisade cells are also much bigger in size. Then plants have other kinds of cells which are called as guard cells. Now, guard cells are like the doors of stomata, and they are found on the underside of the leaf. On the, like, if you turn the leaf upside down, you cannot look and see it with your eyes. But if you look inside the microscope, between the other plant cells, you will see that you will find these stomata and stomatas with the guard cells. Now, when the guard cells, when the leaf absorbs water, guard cells become swollen and turgid, and they open. And when they lose water, then the stomata closes and the guard cells become thin so they can close easily. They are also responsible for exchange of gases, carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now, root hair cells. Root hair cells are the extension of the root cells, and they look like tubes, like it's a sort of a tubular structure. You can see in one of these pictures here. Um, you can see that the large vacuole is extending into the tube. This is basically a root hair which is extending out into the soil. The root hair cells serve to increase the surface area of the plant roots, and they help the plant absorb more water and minerals from the soil. Now, there are also different types of animal cells, like I already mentioned. And specifically, we have nerve cells, red blood cells, and egg cells. Of course, other organs of animals have other types of cells also, but these are the main ones. So let's just quickly look at them. Now, nerve cells are very particular kind of cells which are found in our vertebral column and our brain. So, our brain is basically made up of millions of neurons. So, nerve cells are also called as neurons, and they consist of these hairy, like branched endings that you can see that look like a star. And then they also have the long fiber on the other end. So, these are like electrical wires, and they are joined. And like if you put many neurons together, they're joined end to end, and they're meant for receiving and sending signals or the messages that our brain receives from all over the body. Now, red blood cells are also called as RBCs. They are shaped like donuts. They do not have a nucleus. They're round and they have a dent in the middle. They contain red pigment, which is called as hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the one that is responsible for absorbing oxygen when we breathe. So, when our blood absorbs oxygen, it is carried to the lungs and it is distributed around the body. Remember, said red blood cells do not have nucleus.